This episode of the Olympian Project podcast is brought to you by cups.
Just
Cups
cups.
are good.
No, that's actually J&W Designs.
Yeah, we got new cups, and that's the coolest thing that happened this episode. So
Don't have to watch the rest of it. That was the coolest part.
I'm here with Justin Ellis. I'm Garrett Wiley. We're going to talk about RX in CrossFit. Is it still relevant? It's a topic of discussion here in the CrossFit community by like 3 people. And we're also talking about we got a fitness product today, Animal House Fitness, the foot strap on. That's what it is. So roll the intro. How was your week, bro?
Man, it's been good so far. A little down. It's Friday, so I'm a little tired.
You've been training hard, though.
I've been hitting it more than normal. I've been back on my ancestral with more consistency, and what's allowed me to really get after some of the training has been sleep, like more regular sleep, more timing controlled sleep. So I'm getting to bed earlier, basically. I've been waking up earlier, but I'm hitting that circadian, just right.
What time do you go to bed?
Well, my normal before really had been like before midnight was always a goal. Like if I got to bed by 11:30, I was asleep by like midnight. That was like a win. A lot of times I'm not getting to bed till midnight.
What do you do that you stay up so late?
I
can't really talk.
Yeah, well, most days I'm here till 8 or 8:30. I go home, I shower, I eat. It's like 9:30, 10. And if I haven't been home all day, so if I want to get on the computer, I want to watch a TV show, it's just all of a sudden 11:15, and, I'm creeping in bed, brushing my teeth, all that stuff. It's 12, and it used to be, 1 o'clock was good.
That's ridiculous.
But then you got to get up again.
I go to bed at 1 o'clock and I feel like crap the rest of the next day.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I say that, but Saturday I went to bed pretty late and woke up and had the most productive Sunday probably of my life. I did everything that you could do to do good on Sunday. I did it.
Yeah.
I cleaned my room thoroughly cleaned my room.
You probably needed
like
it.
I didn't just pick up clothes and say I cleaned up my room. I thoroughly cleaned my room.
Did you do drugs?
Organized everything.
Did you take any drugs?
And that's what's so crazy about it.
Yeah.
And what else did I washed all my clothes, all of them, even the ones I don't really wear anymore. That's like just I should get rid of them next.
Probably donate them.
Organized everything, just prepared for the week, and then it all fell apart on Monday. But that's okay because I'd had a good Sunday.
Why did it fall apart on Monday?
I don't know. No, I've had a pretty good week.
Yeah. I'm getting into bed like some days I was in bed before 10 this week. Towards the end of the week, and now I'm feeling it a little bit like last night. It was more like 11:30. Like I probably fell asleep because I was in bed by about 11. So it kind of slowly progressed the wrong direction. But my recovery had been really good all week, so I got some good workouts in this week for sure. Shoulders a little tight, but we'll see today with some snatches. We'll see how that goes.
Have you seen I'm bringing this up because before, like a month ago, you had the same hairstyle as Noah Olsen. Have you seen his new haircut?
I haven't. Is that we're not gonna be able to find that already?
No, I did pull up Instagram just in case we wanted to look at anything on Instagram.
Yeah.
But he's copied. I think he's been planning this for a while because he's been growing his hair out for like a year.
Yeah.
His top like
we won't be able to search though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But he has like the James Newberry hair now. He's like dried it. I don't know how they get that kind of hair, but it's like dried and twirled, kind of like that.
I just think you don't wash your hair. There's a part of it like you can't wash your hair very often. You have to put something else in it that cleans it.
No.
But you don't get it wet and put it in the shower.
No. It's kind of like a treatment. Like I'm pretty sure it's like a treatment, like kind of like perming your hair. It's just different. It like dries it out and gets it really crispy, and then they.
So you're saying Noah's hotter now?
What?
Are
Did I
you?
say that?
I thought you did.
No, I didn't say that at all. I just thought it was funny because it's a hairstyle that you probably could have pulled off better than Noah
Mr.
Olsen.
Noah. I don't see anything
I mean, he's kind of
with it.
ripping off James Newberry.
Yeah, it's
Newberry's
not on his
hair.
Instagram.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It was on his story. It was on his story. Look on his story.
Yeah. I mean, the last thing he had was that top knot.
No, look at his story.
Uh,
Oh, yeah, there it is. See?
well, yeah.
I'll put it on screen in the video so you can see it.
Oh wow! He looks. What do you call those Jamaican
Yeah.
dudes, man? He's got some dreads. Like, but what I'm getting at is you hold that in for a while, and so they don't shower. They can't shower their hair.
Yeah.
So they have to put
I
They have
guess.
to put something else in there. It's almost like a dry shampoo or something.
Yeah.
Wow. That is Noah Olsen, guys. If you haven't check out his story. We'd like to know what you think
It
about
definitely
Noah.
looks better than just having it long. Like at least
Yeah.
he did something with it.
Yeah, I'm not
Kinda funny,
necessarily
though.
saying it's not
I wasn't expecting.
It's kind of got the Viking look to it. I always thought Newberry had this kind of Viking style look, with the dreads.
Yeah, or like.
Have you ever watched the show Vikings?
That sounds like the most boring show
No,
ever.
it's really good. A lot of action. I haven't watched it in like 2 years.
I don't
but
like. I guess it's not medieval, but
Of course
is it
it's
medieval?
not. No.
I don't. What is Vikings? What time period is that?
Oh gosh, you're throwing me on the spot here. This is going to be a lot of paganism.
Man, I don't like in move. Oh, can you click my button?
What's your button?
The button on the camera.
I don't want to click.
I don't like anything that's like high fantasy, medieval, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's boring to me. I that's why I don't really like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
As nerdy as I am, I don't like Lord of the Rings.
I like all history. I mean, I guess there's favorite parts and stuff that I don't like as much, but that's definitely the Viking era.
I could never watch Game of Thrones.
What about when the
sounds
Roman
so
Empire
boring.
was booming?
I don't. This probably sounds pretty boring. I don't know.
Boring though. What do you
And
mean
it's-
boring? Because like
it's just-
everything
I mean-
has every part of history has some sort of like epic.
It's the. I
something.
don't like the setting. I don't
Well,
like
right.
The
So it's
setting.
not as boring. It's just not. Doesn't turn you on.
I guess that's a
Doesn't
way to
hit
put
your
it.
button.
It doesn't hit my button.
Because they don't have. What time frame do you like? Like if you could go back and be like a warrior or a fighter, what time frame would you be?
I like World War II era stuff.
Okay.
World II.
So you still gotta have some-
World War II is pretty cool. But
So-
I like modern movies. I like movies that take place in the now.
And you got to have the industrial movement already occurred. You don't want to be out there just with the agricultural,
Yeah.
movement. And so you got swords and archery.
Yeah, that's pretty boring. Pretty boring. It's pretty boring. It's pretty boring.
If you were a superhero,
Okay.
let's say if you were a superhero, and because I'll bring this up because of The Boys. I don't know if we've ever talked about this show on here.
We haven't.
We're both fans. We're both fans. It's like if superheroes were in the real world, they had agents, they were being monetized. How would that go, right? And it mirrors like superstars of today, right? Singers and movie stars and stuff. Like it's all about the money, right? Not for all of them, but for a lot of them. They're more corrupt than you know, right? So if superheroes were in our world today, okay, now I go to the question. This kind of brings up the question. Let's say you were a superhero. You kind of fell off the wagon. You didn't have a job anymore. They didn't need your services. But you got in the porn industry.
Wow, dude.
I'm thinking of this
Just
because I watched.
I was thinking. I don't know what.
So, what superhero would be good in this industry?
Oh God. I don't know.
I watched a clip this morning of Screech from Saved by the Bell.
I've never watched Saved by the Bell.
Anyway,
That's
he
before my
fell
time.
off way after the show, like drugs and stabbing people, and like the rumor always was he did a porn flick to try to get back, like save his house. And he was Screech. He was the geeky little nerdy kid on Saved by the Bell. So for some reason, I'm tying The Boys and Screech from Saved by the Bell. You got this superhero that has no good in society. They don't hire him as a superhero, so he gets into the porn industry. What's his
Well,
superhero name or what's his ability?
What are you referring to the characters from The Boys? Because I
No,
think it's pretty
no,
obvious.
no. Who?
The
A-Train?
no, the chameleon guy.
Chameleon. Oh, wait. Oh, the guy that can turn into anything?
And turn into anyone
Yeah,
because he could be anyone,
that's true.
and that's profitable.
He could be Ron Jeremy in his youth.
Who's Ron Jeremy?
Oh, God. Anyway.
How I just before we move on, how did you flip the conversation from what movies do you like to watch in what time period to that?
Well, I was thinking like you like Avengers and all that, and of course like Captain America comes from World War II, so that was the first thing that popped in my head because you were talking about this other thing.
The problem with that is I don't typically relate when I'm watching superhero movies. I don't typically relate that to that. That's anyway. Moving on.
Well, before we even started the episode, I kind of wanted to ask you what superhero you would be.
What superhero? Like what is my preferred superpower or what?
Yeah, let's do that. Preferred superpower. Then it turned into Screech in the porno, and then
Nice.
it's like, all right, if you're gonna be a porn star superhero, what's your name and what's your ability? So you're saying chameleon? What'd you say? A chameleon?
I can't remember his name from The Boys, but he's the guy that can transform into anyone, and he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's some pretty
Remember
funny
that? And this
moments.
is a spoiler alert, a little bit, but when they were in that facility, and the one guy, he had the his third leg, and he wrapped it around the dude's neck. Do you remember
I don't
that part?
remember that.
They were in the facility, the house, the home, the psych ward, and they were. You don't remember that?
Oh yeah. I know what part you're talking about. I don't remember that.
And the black
specifically.
dude on the boys, they comes through the window and it wraps around his neck. He doesn't know what it is, but it's a uncircumcised penis.
The Boys is awesome. If you haven't
Yeah.
watched The Boys, you gotta watch
Rude
it
and crude for
immediately.
sure. Let's talk about
Let's
some
talk
stuff.
about fitness because that's what our show's about usually, typically. We had that was a good start. But I think something you wanted to talk about, something that is this was on Morning Chalk Up. If you want to switch to the web view there. Posted on November 16th. I don't even know what today is. 20th. So 4 days ago, they posted a article, Is RX Still Relevant? And I've heard of this happening in certain gyms. If you recall what happened with the Greg Glassman situation when he was emailed by a gym owner and then he responded and that got him in trouble, if you're aware of that situation. And that gym owner actually had they changed their gym to where they don't do RX or scaled
She had that mindset
or
of
leaderboard in their gym anymore. And so I'll let you go through the article. I think you.
Yeah, well, I don't have a membership to Morning Chalk Up. Maybe one day I will, but
I won't.
for me, it was more of the title, and I don't. All you read about here, if you don't have the membership, is really prefacing what RX is. So the article, unless you have the membership, is not. There's nothing juicy in there. But I think because I wanted to talk about it mainly because it's a topic, period, and I wasn't really being a gym owner, actually, I wasn't aware of this so much, but when this article came out, and I'm in a couple affiliate groups on Facebook, people were asking the question, like, hey, we're moving from, transitioning from the RX, like, how do people do this and all that? And I was caught off guard. I didn't know that was something trending in the CrossFit market, and I'm not really sure why. I'm not saying I don't agree with it or disagree with it. My first initial reaction is to disagree with taking RX out. One thing that I've always kind of loved about CrossFit is the barrier between lifestyle or real life and CrossFit is very mixed. And so when you come into CrossFit and you work really hard and you work on your skills, it translates into every day too, like at your job or when something bad in life happens, like you have to, change your game plan or whatever. I just felt like CrossFit was very functional. Obviously, we functional fitness, but when I don't know if you can take RX and scaled out of life. So and this is kind of a deep sense of what I was thinking or feeling, but I was like, you can't really do that in life, and I don't see why you would do that in CrossFit. Like a lot of our clients have aspired to RX. Now, something different that we've done here is we've said, look, if you're an athlete wanting to be a competitor, there's a different RX and scaled for people wanting to be competitors. And then if you're looking for everyday functional fitness, there's an RX and a scaled. And excuse me. And so the everyday fitness enthusiast isn't looking to probably snatch 250 pounds for a male, or 165 pounds or 150 pounds for a female. Do they need to snatch, and is that a part of the building block? Absolutely. But my point is, in our comp side, we're driving a little bit heavier and more technical, and there's something to aspire to. That's the RX. And on the everyday everyday functional fitness person, there's just different goals. And there's still an RX for that too. You don't take it away. And another part of this before you dive into is that they were talking about, and I don't know about this article, but in the affiliate forums, that now a lot of people are using like percentages for workouts. There's not, like Grace is 135.95. Instead of doing Grace at 135.95, you do Grace at maybe a percentage of your 1 rep max, or you do a percentage of your body weight. Which the body weight part to me is a lot harder to do for somebody that is a skilled athlete. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with. I mean, if you really want to move away from RX, I can see how you would do it with percentages of your 1 rep max. The problem with that is you have to have a 1 rep max for every single movement you do in CrossFit. Mm-hmm. Every single movement you do in CrossFit, including every dumbbell movement, every barbell movement, everything, you have to have a 1 rep max for that to work. First off. Well, I guess that's the only. There's no second off, so that's the off.
You have beat that off
for the second option, which is a percentage of your body weight. That doesn't apply. That doesn't, because
I think that's more advanced, actually.
Yes and no. The problem there is people are. It depends on your strength relative to your body weight. So if you're super, super weak compared to your body weight, then.
Well, I think I'm going to help your argument.
Then it's going to be a completely different stimulus for someone who's super strong and super skinny. You know what I mean?
I'm going to help your argument out right here.
Like me.
I'm going to help your argument out right here. Like, what we're talking about is a gym. We're not talking about training for regionals or sanctionals or the games. What's mostly in the gym? 90% of your gym is everyday regular people. And why are they trying to talk about getting rid of RX and scaled? It's because maybe inclusion, right? When you go to body weight percentage, most people that aren't able to do RX they're not at their ideal weight, and they're not at their ideal strength. So you're talking about, think about it, somebody that just came in the gym that's 40 pounds overweight and not strong, you go off their body weight, they're going to be in a lot worse position than even probably the RX across the board weight. They're at a disadvantage. So we're not saying that people are using body weight as the other step, but it has been tossed around in there. Why I say that body weight is more advanced is because of that simple fact right there. You get a big, strong guy, whereas in CrossFit says 135.95 Grace, right? Who's good at Grace? In our case, Randy Medina, 225 athlete, sometimes even bigger than that, and is really strong because weight moves weight. So he gets an advantage in there. But that's the great thing about CrossFit in competition. He's going to be able to dominate that, and somebody like you has got to just stick as close as possible, and then when you get your strength, you get to take advantage of it. So if you went to competition and this guy Randy or whoever is 245, 235, and can do CrossFit, can do all the movements, right? But he's a bigger athlete. So now he has to do Grace at, we'll just say 50% body weight, okay? He's got to do it at, we'll make it easy, 240. He's got to do it at 120 pounds. What do you weigh?
155.
155. you get to do it at 70, 80 pounds, we'll say. So, I mean, I guess in that case, it gets to come down to you. But then when it goes to muscle ups, what's the
And I'm not a great
percentage
example
there?
because I have elite strength for my body weight. Just saying. I mean, it takes someone who's skinny like me, but also has never really done any strength training. Like I do strength training a lot.
Right.
So they're at a huge disadvantage. I mean,
They're at a disadvantage because of the RX.
we're
We're taking. Why?
I don't know. If RX is, you're saying if RX is a body weight percentage?
No, RX is, we're taking Grace. This is what we're talking about, right? Grace, 135.95.
Okay.
And I just said you take the other option that people are talking about is using maybe another option is body weight percentage.
Yeah, which is
so
stupid.
we're just trying to debunk the body weight percentage thing.
Stupid.
50%, let's just say, because Grace isn't heavy. 50%. Randy's got to use, or the 240 athletes got to use 120 pounds. You would use about 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Is that seem
And
right?
given I was weaker than I am. Say I just started CrossFit.
Let's just
and
say you are who you are.
Say I just started working out.
Mhm.
Okay, if I am who I am, I'm decently strong for my weight. So yeah, 70 pounds isn't going to be tough for me. But if you take someone who has never done any training before, any traditional strength training or CrossFit, they're going to have a lot harder time, especially if they're not efficient in the movement. Grace
at 80
is very,
pounds,
huh?
At 80 pounds,
Yeah.
they're going to have a
Especially
harder time than 135.
Depends on the experience level of the athlete, and
What? That athlete, the 155-pound athlete that you're talking about that hasn't done a lot of CrossFit,
or
is
strength training.
strength training. You're saying it's going to have trouble with 80 pounds in comparison to the original 135.
If you're putting it, are you putting it against someone like Randy Medina?
I'm using it. We got to use contrasts of different athletes here. I don't think we're talking about the same thing here because I'm saying Grace is 135.95.
Oh, okay.
You aspire to Grace, right?
Yeah.
You want to do Grace. It's RX.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Grace
I
is
thought you were
135.
comparing two athletes. But yeah, it's going to be easier.
I mean,
obviously.
yes, you're going to use
But
comparison.
here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with
is
that.
that fair? Is what I'm saying.
Well, okay, let's kind of segue this a little bit. Let's talk about the title of the morning chalk up. Is RX still relevant? Mm-hmm. Here's why RX is still relevant and will always be relevant forever and always. RX is there so that you have a prescribed weight that lets you understand and know the stimulus of the workout. Mm-hmm. If Grace RX was 205 pounds, the stimulus of the workout is a slow strength
heavy
endurance workout.
Right.
Because it's 135, it's more of a fast-paced aerobic workout.
Now, some it may be really heavy, but the point is, one, if you have a good coach, you're scaling.
Well, yes, and
to be appropriate.
That's what I was going to say here. Yeah, if you have a 155 guy who has never done any strength training or CrossFit and he wants to do 135, it's up to the coach to say, hey, you don't need to do that. You need to scale the weight and do it somewhere around 50% of your body weight. Now, I can see how you could say taking scaled out as an option is scaled is less relevant because, again, that should be dependent on the athlete. But it gives I mean, if you're running a group class and the coach can't go up to everyone and give them a weight because they can't remember, this specific athlete, how strong they are in this movement, I mean, it gives them kind of an area.
But I mean, scaled is just that's what you're doing, and I know this is all about being politically correct, right? I mean, I think that's why they're talking about is RX still relevant. Even take away the fact that there's always going to be, even if they're going off of your body weight or percentage lifting weight, which I think we'll agree is more relevant, like knowing what your 1 reps are, and you've already kind of discussed what the hurdles would be if you went that direction. But I think that's more relevant than body weight for sure. But that's still RX if you do it at the percentage of the workout, right? What else are you going to call it? I'm doing the workout. Well, let's say you can't do the percentage of that workout for some reason, because that was a year ago, or you don't have you're saying you don't have an updated 1 rep max. Now, what are you going to do if you can't do that weight? You're going to scale it. So these are just terms of what's happening. Like as prescribed is what you're supposed to do in the workout. So I think it's a politically correct way of saying it is what people are getting hung up on.
And if you move into a direction that there's no weight prescribed, there's no body weight percentage prescribed, and there's no what is it? What's the other one? What did I say? It's prescribed weight, body weight percentage, or
body
weight
weight
max
or
percentage.
1 rep max percent. Yeah, what you can lift.
The athlete has no idea what to do, what kind of weight to do, and they could screw up their workout drastically. Let's take Fran, for example. Fran is 21.59 thrusters at 95.65 pounds. If you don't have a weight for that workout and a person has never done it before or seen it, then they could go, well, I bet I could do 205. And then they throw a 205 at the bar, and it takes them an hour and 15 minutes to do the workout.
If you want to build the culture of your gym that way, I think you're just going to be at a disadvantage because here's the deal. The sport can't go that way. The sport can't go that way.
No.
There is, whether you want to call it something else, maybe because you're a little sensitive to the word skilled. Maybe that's what the problem is. But the sport can't go that way. And that also means the open can't go that way. And that means qualifiers and sanctionals can't go that way. So what I'm saying is you can build your gym in a more positive environment, I guess, if you look at this negatively. I don't look at it negatively. I look at it as I want to be able to do that one day, right? And as an athlete, I may not be able to do it that way. So as a coach, you need to be putting your athletes in the best position to succeed. And that's where we do comp and we do fitness, because here's the deal. Fran is Fran. But when we program a workout, say, let's call it 15.9.6 of thrusters and pull-ups, our comp is going to do it at 95.65. Our fitness, who are just functional fitness crew, will put it at 75.55. They can RX that day. It's a different work capacity, and it's a different. You're supposed to go fast there because it's light, but so is the comp athlete over here. I think that's up to you as the gym owner and the coaches to put your athletes up for success. You'll know those athletes that aren't trying to go to qualifiers and go to competitions, but they need to do thrusters and pull-ups because it's a part of fitness. They don't need to do 95.65, and that's a bad example because, honestly, a lot of people can get there. The other side of this, we're just talking about the bar and the weights, right? How do you take out the RX on toes to bar and pull-ups? And maybe
That's
we're
a
looking
beautiful question.
And maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. But what percentage are you changing the reps now? 21.15.9. Okay, hey boss, I can do 5 unbroken toes to bar.
Well, the workout becomes
just a mesh up.
Say it's 21.15.9 thrusters and we'll say toes to bar. The workout becomes
what can you
21.15.9 of thrusters of your weight choice and an ab movement of your choice. So
which, I'm not saying that's not a bad direction for a coach to go to scale it.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Maybe,
but if you're talking about people who have been doing CrossFit for a while, they go, well, I could do toes to the bar, I could do GHDs, I could do backward backflips and toe tucks. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Well, as I said, too, we do that. We will. I want to train my athletes in a certain way that they as an individual progress in that movement, right? So Fran, we'll go back to that again, 21.15.9, thrusters and pull-ups. And I've got a lot of athletes, of course, they can do pull-ups. They can do a kipping pull-up. But they're working on their butterfly. And it's like, you know what? Let's throw out this whole RX concept today. Let's get better for you. Maybe the 95 pounds is a little heavy for that athlete. I'm like, hey, the main focus today is to work on those butterfly pull-ups. And we're going to do doubles there. But I'm going to lighten up the barbell just a little bit. But again, it's not RX. It is scaled.
I mean, that's fine. But if you're talking about wiping the system away completely, right, and you have a class of 15 people, you don't have time in an hour class to go up to each person and specifically to design a workout that's kind of like what we're doing today for each person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, if you have a class where You have an RX, you have half the class doing RX because they know they're able to do that and they're capable of do that, and the coach knows that, and you can work on 4 or 5 athletes over here that need a little bit of scaling, or you can do a generalized scaling, then that is why RX is still relevant. That's why you need RX, especially for group training, but especially for common sense. Yeah. I mean, and the reason this is even a conversation is because people are soft.
Yeah.
If you walk into a gym and you have a problem that people are doing more weight than you, or that you can't do what everyone else is doing, and it's your first time working out, you haven't really strength trained, you haven't really done CrossFit, you haven't got off the couch in 3 years, and you're upset that you can't do what everybody else is doing, and that affects you to the point that you have to quit or something, that's your problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You're soft.
Well, it's not even the new people, right? It's not the new people, though, because they don't know. They don't even know the culture of RX and scaled. It's the athletes that have been there for 4 or 5 years that don't hit the RX button a whole lot. And that's where I don't discredit the system of RX scaled or CrossFit. I now discredit the skill set of the coach or owner, because I've seen this as an issue as an owner, and I've developed a system that allows people. It's about clicking the button or writing RX down, right? That's what we're talking about. They want more athletes to feel good about themselves throwing the RX up. And I don't disagree with that, because some people's goals aren't to be the next Matt Frazier. They still want to know that they are prescribing workouts, doing workouts as prescribed, living their functional fitness life, because 90% of athletes are functional fitness, everyday working athletes, or having a job athletes. So what I'm saying as a programmer for a gym, if you have a problem with the RX and scaled, it's maybe because it's coming from the top, and you need to figure out your system to build your athletes up. But that doesn't take RX away from Fran. You can't change Fran. You can't change Grace. If you want to call it Friendly Fran, which was the name of the Open, it's not friendly at all, but you want to call it Laughing Fran, and say it's 75-55, or it's your percentage blah, 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 and make a new benchmark workout for your gym, that's cool too. I mean, you can be creative that way, but I don't want this to be a trickling effect on the community as a whole and tell me I can't do RX workouts anymore and scale. That doesn't make sense. I think you've got to, it's just like, I know it's group training, but you have a group of people, a community, and CrossFit, more than any other gym institution, should know their athletes better than any other one, okay? We do other things outside the gym. We're a community. Most people call us a cult. You know your athletes. You need to be programming for your athletes. And for the ones that want to be the next level, you need to be programming for them as well. So how else do you call it RX or scaled? I don't know.
You don't. And you know, if it doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what you do. If you play sports in high school, middle school, if you go do fighting, jiu-jitsu, MMA, or you come do CrossFit, there's going to be people that are better than you. And so let's just use a jiu-jitsu gym as an example. You walk in and, you know, whether you get to the point where you can take on the best people in the gym or not, whether it takes 4 years, 15 years, whatever, or you want to try and do it at the beginning. If you're not able to get there, it's probably, well, I can't say it's probably, well, it probably is your fault, because if there's people in that gym that are black belts, but it might be belts,
that's why I said it starts from the top. It might be your trainer's fault.
But if there's people in that gym that are black belts and purple belts, probably not the trainer's fault or the coach's fault.
Oh, sure, right, they got there.
It's your fault. It's your fault.
And that's one way to look at it.
If you want to get there, put in more work and stop complaining.
But again, and that's one perspective for sure. That's definitely the top end there. But most people aren't worried about becoming a black and purple belt, but they still want to know that they're accomplishing something. I don't know that world as well, but let's just look at it this way. There's always a standard. There's always a standard for especially sports. It'd be like, and this is one perspective, it'd be like if you shot a basketball and it hit the side of the rim. And some athletes, that counts as a bucket. And for the better athletes, it doesn't.
That's awesome.
If you were...
Dude, I would be the best basketball player in the world,
kinda.
dude.
But Also, if you were playing soccer and, an athlete came down the field and just kicked it out in the general direction of the goal, but it went wide 25 feet. That's a goal for these athletes, but these better athletes or whatever we're going to call them, they got to make it in the goal past the goalie. And it's like, what? So, okay, the standard, the RX part of this, it just doesn't add up to a sport. But again, in your gym, if you want to develop that culture and then all of a sudden somebody wants to become competitive, they're at a big disadvantage because guess what's going to happen when they go to a competition? They're going to be like, you have to do this like this at this weight. And they're going to be like, well, my coach tells me my toes only have to get half the way there for a toe to bar. Doesn't work that way. And in life, when your boss says you got to make the sale, you actually got to close the deal. You can't just be like, I made the call. They said no.
Yeah. So, real quick before we switch the topic,
Yeah.
there's one reason that I've heard why gyms want to get away from this, and it's because there's no option for non-binary people. Now, I don't care what you want to call yourself. Don't care. If you want to call yourself a blue elephant, that's fine with me. Don't care. But here's the problem with taking RX and scaled out for that reason. 90% of people like to call themselves a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
So if you take out that for that small percentage, that not only hurts them, but again, it still hurts that person.
I mean,
it still hurts that person.
But okay, even if you're a guy that wants to identify as a girl, there's a girl option, RX.
Yeah.
I mean, unless if you're saying they want to identify as like an animal or something.
No. I think non-binaries you don't identify with a gender. I'm not complete. I could be completely wrong. I'm not completely educated on all 47 genders that are a thing now.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So I mean, in that case, you could do whatever weight you want, right? And again, going back to what you were saying, what about when you if you want to start competing or you want to do something outside at another gym or the gym holds a competition, what do you do then for that person?
Yeah, I think, look, what you want to be and what you want to do in everyday life is awesome. That's up to you. But, genetically, males are born different than females, and that's been the standard in most sports. So I think, you could go off your birth certificate, and that's where you stand. Now, if you're going through the process and surgery, taking hormones to become a girl or the hormones to be a man, I guess there's a certain, maybe a test or level of that for that. I don't know. I guess if you're at a local level, no one's going to go that far into it. So I don't know. I think you just gotta, I don't know. If you call yourself a girl, just be a girl, I guess.
Like,
there's still an RX for it.
What would you do as a coach if someone says, so there's not a weight for me, I'm non-binary?
I would just have to ask, like, not to be rude, but what were you born as, and what do you claim to be? But you're saying that you're non-binary. I don't have that option. I guess it's not. I guess I've never ran across that. Okay, we'll meet in the middle. How about that?
Yeah.
If it's 115, if it's 115.80, you'll do 95.
That works.
And then you're like, well, that's too heavy. And then be like, well, how about the women's weight? Okay. There you go. That doesn't, you know what, to be honest, you're not playing the same game that we're playing, obviously. Yeah. There's a men's RX and a women's RX. If you're non-binary, that's fine. I'm going to train anyone. Like, it's about what you can do. Look, if somebody
you could say if you were to do a sport, would you compete in the men's division or the women's division?
It's not even about that. 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 If there was a workout that was a 315 clean in there, what would you do?
If there was a workout where I had to do 315 clean?
If it was programmed, RX, 315.
I'd probably go down to like 185.
Okay, you would scale it.
Yeah.
So on a day-to-day basis, there's workouts I can't do RX. And what do I do with this athlete? I say, what can you do?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the most you can do in that? Is it RX or scaled? We're not going anywhere with this. I don't have any gold medals for you today. We're going to find out what you can do for your stimulus. That's ultimately what is going to happen.
Well, yeah. if you take
You're
RX
talking about if
out
I
of
was
it,
running a competition.
if you
maybe.
take men's, women's RX out of it, you hurt everyone, including that person who says I don't identify with men or women, because they have no idea what weight to do. If they have that the men are doing this and the women are doing this,
now we can scale
they
off
kind of
of it.
see where their weight should
Right.
be.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that was fun. That was
Yeah.
fun
Got
conversation.
deep.
What are we talking about now?
As you can see on your screen, we're going to move into the segment of the product of the week. The product is monkey feet. I'm already. Is this about as ridiculous about what we were just talking about?
That's debatable. Because that was pretty ridiculous. But monkey feet, it's not what you might be thinking of the shoes with the
Like you hang upside down?
No, the shoes with the toes. The
what?
The shoes that have the toes.
Yeah, just where you're like wearing
gloves
nothing.
for your feet.
Gloves for your feet. Yeah. I don't. Do they call those monkey feet?
Nah, that's what I think of when I see them.
Oh, I didn't think
what
about that.
Kind of look like, but it's. I don't get why it's called monkey feet even. But I mean, guess because you can hold stuff. With your feet. Monkeys can hold stuff with their feet. It's like a shoe or a girdle for your foot that you can attach dumbbells or weights to is what I'm seeing right off the bat.
Yeah, it's got a little grip right here. Dumbbells are no longer just for your hands. So I guess they asked a couple monkeys what they would do with dumbbells, and they were like, I'd hold them with my feet.
Yeah, all in ASL.
Yeah.
Hey, monkey, what would you do with this? And then they...
So here's the 4 things you can do with it. Hamstring curls. Donkey kicks, leg extensions, and high knees. Is this something you can't do with bands? And I guess you could do this with weights.
No, I mean, you could do it all with bands, but you could also do it all with a cable machine.
Mm-hmm. Fits most dumbbells. No bulky machinery, so you just have some footwear.
No.
Designed by a pro athlete. Let's see who this pro athlete was. They went straight to ordering. It's Mike Tyson.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say. They put that button there. Designed by a pro athlete. You can click the button and then it takes you to the cell phone.
Let me see if I can get this.
Hey, his Metcon's on.
Animal House Fitness. I guess the volume. Can't turn the volume down, but y'all can hear it.
I got to say this isn't depending on the price, because the price is always important. It sometimes is the most important.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes you can have something ridiculous that's not too expensive. It's worth
and
a
you can
shot.
have something decent that's way too expensive.
Yeah.
This is the case where, honestly, depending on the price, I'm not completely going for that, because here's the thing. Like, we have a cable machine out there that we use all the time in barbell club. We do all of this stuff with that cable machine. The problem with that cable machine is it doesn't have, and you could arguably do more stuff with this, it doesn't have specific weights. Like, we have no idea what the weights are on that thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this honestly has a little more versatility, and it's probably cheap.
Yeah.
And it's different stimulus.
You know what I will say, right out the gate. You know what? Right out the gate, coming from a CrossFit gym, most places don't have machines, and this would be the one way to get bypass that. and because you can't do a lot of that development with a lot of things that we do in CrossFit.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely accessory work, and that's
like
the thing.
Here's a good example you see on the screen now. The machines that I'm talking about, cables.
Are using like 4 different machines, which, I mean, one machine can do most of this stuff.
But my point is, we've never had a lot of this equipment.
Yeah.
And I'm not against it so far. It's a little ridiculous looking, but...
And, I mean, it's a different
so
stimulus.
CrossFit.
And a bonus here is on the... What does it say? Where?
Hmm?
What?
Where?
What'd you say about CrossFit? Oh, I thought it said something about CrossFit.
No, I was saying like it looks a little
okay.
ridiculous, but so does CrossFit half the time.
Yeah. But the website doesn't sell it as the only fitness equipment you'll need for the rest of your life. Like
Right.
it's not like that.
They know what they're isolating.
Yeah. So that's a bonus from the website. That kind of gives me a little more respect for them. And
Right. They're not just.
so
They do have a purpose, and they know
let's-
their purpose.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's look at the price.
I think it was right at the top.
I
They got a
missed it.
sale.
I missed it.
Yeah,
That-
$62.95.
It's for one.
For
but,
one?
I mean, you really only need one.
What? Oh.
So $62 for one. That's
You could just switch, I guess. On.
not bad. That's not bad. It's not like $100.
I guess it isn't a pair. Sold individually, but
Oh.
works for both feet, left and right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, that would be kind of weird
You
to
only
put them on
need one.
both feet. Then you couldn't move.
You could run.
$62 is what we're talking about for this product. Usually it looks like $74.55. So they're on sale right now. Order yours today to save 15%. Now this is a pre-order sale. They actually haven't been in the market yet. It doesn't look like, although they have 4 reviews.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This isn't the worst thing in the world.
If Gary,
It's not the worst thing in the world because, and this is something you can use.
high praise for you,
if
Animal
you
House.
if you have a small home gym and you can't fit a giant cable machine in your gym, or 3 or 4 depending
Right.
on what you need it for, but you want to do accessory work, like say you just have like a lifting room in your home and you don't have room and you need this, like this is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
You do have to have the dumbbells.
Well, of course, but I mean, if you have a small home gym, you probably already have dumbbells. I mean, most people probably already have dumbbells if they're wanting to get this.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I'm sold. And I didn't think I would ever say that about anything besides the Gogi pants, but I mean, dude,
Look at this here.
he's put a barbell on it.
It's got a cable attachment.
If you got 2, you could put both feet on a barbell. That's on a machine. What are you talking about?
No, that's just straps.
Well, yeah.
Off a
okay,
rig.
yeah, but it's not. That doesn't come with it.
I know it doesn't. I
Oh,
didn't say
okay.
that. I'm saying
And
it's on a barbell.
you could buy 2 of them, and if you already have a barbell, you could use a barbell.
where are you gonna hang from?
You don't need to hang it. You could use. I mean,
Where would your gravity? The gravity would have.
that's true.
he
That's
would,
true.
He would fall if he was his both feet.
But if the barbell's light enough, you could use a. So I'm thinking like laying flat on the ground.
there might be
maybe.
something there.
Yeah, or like a bench or something. You could, you could, and that's what matters. There's a dog using it.
Dogs always need it. This guy does go
So,
doubled
He
up.
does double it up.
Is he gonna skate?
He's gonna run a mile. That'd be awesome.
What if you did
I
like
wanna see
bicycle
David
kicks
Goggin.
here? Like a
Yeah.
ab
Yeah.
bicycle kick edition. Oh, he's actually getting up. Was he gonna do some like toes to bar? Is it for lifting?
Oh,
What?
squats. So he's using them as
Uh,
lifters.
Oh, there.
Squats to knee raises.
Yeah. I think
It's
that's,
like a-
I think he's missed the point a little bit.
I mean, that's a good. It's a good point though. It could be used as an extreme elevation
there we
for
go.
squats.
there we go.
If you don't want to buy lifters,
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
it's like 3 or 4 inches depending on the size of the
You,
dumbbell.
you really
use.
could not use that for lifters.
I mean, but you
No.
could, or like
No.
pistols. If you can't do pistols,
Well, maybe, but again, in
I
the long run, I like the product so
love it.
far. I think you really only need the one. Yeah, I think you only need the one.
but 2 is. I mean, you can. There's,
You're
there's
really gonna do
usability
one
with
side
2.
at a time.
Well, like what he was doing. He was doing the
Yeah.
squats and the single leg knee raises.
That's true.
I mean, if you have the money and you want to, it works. It works.
could get
And
away
again,
with
you could put it
one.
on a barbell.
You could get away with
You
one.
could get away with one. But let's look at the reviews. I want to see what
I'm
people are
trying to
saying,
find
if there are any
them.
real ones.
But this
No,
is
you
all
scroll down.
pre-order.
No, what?
Yeah, it's all pre-order.
There were reviews.
I
It's
said
not even out
4,
yet.
but I can't click on it. But it says
Scroll
like
down.
at the
They
very
were-
top. Hold
they were
on.
down. I saw it said pre-order. I remember that now.
Yeah, now accepting pre-orders on Monkey. What the heck?
Is that the only product they have? That's the
Yep.
only product they have
Well,
from
yeah.
Animal House Fitness. Good stuff, guys. Send us a product. We'll use it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely make
Mm.
a video on this one. I don't think there's any.
About us. There was. And
You think that's gonna
a
be
boxer.
reviews?
Well, I wonder if this
Oh,
is.
is this the guy? This is the guy. Mixed. Evan is sparring with another trainer. This is the second workout. What?
Is he a boxer or he's a boxer? It's
Kickboxing?
Evan is sparring with a mixed martial arts fighter. He's in a boxing ring
Is
with
this his
boxing
initial?
gloves on.
Oh, is this his initial draw up? He cannot draw. But
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty hilarious. So I like it.
At least he's showing where it started.
Yeah.
He just drew on a piece of paper. I'm gonna make
It's
this.
this guy here then, Evan and Paul.
Oh, he is an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
I had a picture of boxing at the top.
Hmm.
Not even the same guy.
Animal House Fitness out of Cali.
Wait, scroll up again. Is he? That's not UFC. It was made by two people, and this guy
Yeah.
was a mountain bike motocross athlete. I wonder.
Engineer at UCLA.
I wonder how if he uses it to train for motocross and stuff like that. I don't know much.
I
about
mean, you
motocross.
could, if he's bike, he's not a motocross.
Well, it says
and
mountain bike.
bike. Okay, yeah. I definitely would imagine for the biking part, the hamstrings, doing a lot of reverse curls and stuff like that. That would be.
Oh, he is a boxing coach too.
Yeah.
So this guy was just. I think the boxer MMA fighter was just the brains, and then he was like, "Hey, can you make this?"
Need
and
an
then
engineer,
he did.
yeah. Well, and you got to find somebody that can and is also on board with it. So,
That's pretty
buy
cool.
or sell.
I like it. If I had a home gym, and
You wouldn't.
do some
You don't think
accessory
you would
work,
use it here?
we have the cable machine.
Yeah.
So no, but again, if you have a home gym or a home like lifting space, and you need something to do accessory work with, this is fantastic.
I see. I
actually.
even think this is better than that machine, though. Like you can do this
In a
anywhere in
way,
the
yeah.
gym, and you don't have to be stuck right there, and it does more.
100. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to get in some of those positions, and of course, we saw the circuit stuff that the guy was doing. You can't do that
Yeah.
necessarily with the cable
I
machine.
don't really know.
Supports up to
That's kinda
160
ridiculous.
pounds. So I think it's a win. And I think it's a wrap. Animal House Fitness Monkey Feet. This might be one of two products?
One of the best ones we've seen. I like this better than Agoge pants for certain people. If you have access to a gym, I think the Agoge pants are a great investment. Maybe I can't remember the price on it, but this for a home gym, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think the price is good, and if you needed a Christmas present for somebody that works out a lot at home, man, $62, get them a Christmas present right there. I think you're done. Pre-orders. It doesn't tell me when they're actually going to be selling. I don't think. Let's see if I can find that for you. Expect the beginning of December before Christmas. So again,
you could even put bands on it.
attach
actually,
it
instead of a
attach it to
dumbbell.
the hook. That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
They
I
should.
like
Hey, Animal House. You should just honestly, all they need to do is make some sort of hook attachment.
Well, you could just put the band where the
Yeah.
dumbbell's supposed to go. I don't think it's gonna fall. I think it's a lock.
Well, maybe so. If it locks, then they need to advertise the band feature because
yeah.
bands, man, people love doing band stuff.
This
isn't
especially accessories.
especially accessories. Like they're selling it as that. Like this is in addition to your training. You throw a band attachment, or you at least show how it'll attach to a band. I think you even got a better product there. It'll sell more. Monkey feet, man. I thought this was gonna be a complete bust. I saw it, and I thought it was gonna be a complete bust. There's a lot of monkey products out there. The monkey ball or whatever we had, that was terrible. Monkey feet,
especially
is a go.
because it's decent. It's decently priced.
Yeah,
I mean that's not bad.
Agreed.
$75.
Agreed. We'll send us one. We'll do a video for you. Guys, love to hear what you think about Monkey Feet and what you think about RX. Make sure to comment below what you think about either one of those things. That's going to do it for today.
That was a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
So subscribe if you liked it.
Like and subscribe. Next week, we're going to be talking about...
We'll let you know when we get there.
Actually, next week's going to be different.
Is it?
I think we're going to have to try to do an episode next Wednesday.
Why?
It's called Thanksgiving.
We'll have a Thanksgiving special. We'll come and eat a whole turkey together.
Yes, let's do it. We'll do some Thanksgiving turkey, and then hopefully get you those deals that are going to be right around the corner that Friday online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of research.
Yes.
All right, guys. We will see you next week for the Thanksgiving special. Toodaloo.